Officers taking part in a drill last April in Washington Heights. The idea is to keep the cops sharp to make sure they know what to do in a riot situation. Well, another drill is going on right now at Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn, and John Miller is there. John?
Well, Carol, this is part of an ongoing and never-ending, I will add, training series that has been instituted by Police Commissioner Raymond Kelly. The idea is that after the 60s, with the abolishment of the Tactical Patrol Force, the Special Events Squad, and others, that the department may have lost its way in riot control. Well, Commissioner Kelly is trying to help them find their way back. Here's one of the exercises they were practicing today at Floyd Bennett Field. This is what they call a high-profile rescue. This training exercise was designed after the dynamics of the Reginald Denny beating in Los Angeles. It's a carefully choreographed exercise. Police thought, what would we do if it happened here? How would we get him off the street? Chief Louis Anamone is in charge of the new training. It's been going on and will go department-wide.
It will never end. It's going to be an ongoing training, both for the executives, the police officers, sergeants, lieutenants, throughout the job.
After the tumultuous 60s, the special riot-trained units, like the department's Tactical Patrol Force, were disbanded. Yet, the riot at Tompkins Square Park or the Crown Heights disturbance proved that the New York Police Department no longer had a real protocol for dealing with a riot. Ray Kelly, the ex-Marine who was second in command at the time of the Crown Heights riot, is the one who stepped in with the plan to quell the disturbance. Now, as commissioner, he's instituted 3 levels of new training. The training for the top brass is on calling the shots effectively from the command post. For field commanders, there are tabletop exercises where they learn to move formations of cops in troubled areas. And for the line cops, there are the practical exercises, disorder drills they're called, simulated violent demonstrations or even riot situations. Some cops get to play the rioters, and some cops get to play themselves. Some of the ongoing debate over the handling of the Crown Heights incident and why Ray Kelly stepped in on the 3rd day to implement a plan that succeeded there has been about why did it take the first deputy commissioner, the second in command, to step in? Why did it take 3 days from to step in? What a lot of people don't know about the department structure is that the police commissioner is the overall commander and that his line chiefs are the ones who are supposed to be involved in that operational aspect. The first deputy commissioner's job is largely an administrative one, pushing the paper that moves the department through that big bureaucracy to keep that kind of stuff away from the police commissioner. It was on Kelly's own volition that he stepped in on that 3rd day and really took control of the situation using his old line commander experience. And that's the experience that eventually brought that riot under control within 24 hours. Reporting live from Floyd Bennett Field, John Miller, News 4 New York.
John, do you get any sense that the officers themselves feel more capable now should anything happen? These exercises have helped?
Absolutely. I spoke to some of the cops who were at this exercise today. First of all, they were enjoying themselves. Second of all, they're getting a routine. Each dynamic, each situation that they learn, whether it's a person trapped in an intersection in a car that's being pelted or in a doorway, they know that by doing it repetitively, when they come upon the real thing, now they know a system, now they have a protocol, now they know how to react. And of course, those are the smaller incidents. When it comes to moving large amounts of cops into an area like that, of course, they're getting that training, and they're getting it every month. So not only are they going to learn it, but they're going to learn it, and they're never going to have the opportunity to forget it.
Oh, great. Well, let's hope they won't have to use it. Thank you, John, very much.
The city's fire commissioner is doing a slow burn over some fighting words that came from a firefighters union official. Actually, the anger is directed at just one word with all the ethnic overtones connected to it. Ralph Penza explains.
The flames New York's bravest fight every day were no hotter than the anger of Fire Commissioner Carlos Rivera today. I found him seething over what he said was an ethnic slur hurled at him by a top fire union official. A flyer sent to firehouses called the commissioner Chico, little boy in Spanish.
It's a racial slur. I'm greatly offended by those remarks. They demean not only the fire commissioner, but the fire department.
It was sent by William Miro, a Queens trustee, just elected to recording secretary, a top union post. Scrawled across a labor dispute letter, Miro allegedly called the fire commissioner that little blank Chico, and warning, I'll give that blank a heart attack. And again, you can warn Chico. The fury over this flyer has raged through the Hispanic leadership here at City Hall. Hispanic councilmen and other council supporters joined the fire commissioner in condemning the flyer.
We demand that he not only apologize to the commissioner, but to apologize to the Hispanic community of the city.
The use of Chico, to me, gives me flashback to the 50s and the 60s when African American in this society were called boys.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Referring to the old TV sitcom Chico and the Man, several councilmen said there was nothing wrong with the name itself, but that it was used to demean the fire commissioner.
I'm angry, and I think that there are a lot of things that have to be settled before an apology is acceptable.
Ralph Penza, News 4, New York.
William Miro did not return phone calls, and there has been no comment from the leadership of the union so far.
Well, a federal judge with a reputation for speaking his mind has done it again. Judge Jack Weinstein called the media to his courtroom today to pronounce sentence in a case involving welfare fraud. 115 people, mostly Dominican and single mothers, used phony Social Security numbers to scam thousands of dollars from the city, state, and federal government. The judge lashed out at public officials responsible for overseeing the programs. He said, quote, "Failure of government made it too easy for these defendants to commit their crimes." And New York City Councilman Samuel Horowitz went to attend a kindergarten graduation at PS 100 in Brighton Beach today, and he ended up being led away by police to the 60th precinct, where afterward he said he was handcuffed to a pipe. Horowitz was arrested when he refused to leave the school. The principal would not admit him to the ceremony because he said he didn't have a ticket. Horowitz claims a dispute with a local school board president was behind his arrest, and the Board of Education has dropped the charges.
Another tragedy to report tonight involving an unlicensed driver. Police say Santiago Acevedo's reckless driving led to a crash which claimed the life of his own 4-year-old daughter and another man. Acevedo was reportedly speeding along at 70 miles an hour yesterday morning on Utopia Parkway in Flushing, Queens. He plowed into another car, killing that driver. His little daughter, who was sitting next to him, died instantly in the crash. People of Fort Monmouth in Tinton Falls, New Jersey, are still waiting to hear what's going to happen to the base and to their jobs. Late today, a federal commission charged with downsizing the military voted unanimously to reject a Pentagon plan to move thousands of jobs at the facility to Illinois. They're calling for an alternative at this hour. No details on that. Steve Dunlop was in Fort Monmouth today.
Fort Monmouth is one of the largest employers on the North Jersey coast. Marconi sent the first radio signals from here. The first laser beam was tested here. The night vision goggles used in the Persian Gulf War were invented at Fort Monmouth.
If we weren't here, basically what would happen is that the ability of the soldier to fight would be greatly degraded, and eventually he would not be able to use his equipment.
Under the plan before the Federal Base Closings Commission, the biggest unit at Fort Monmouth, the Army's Communications and Electronics Command, would move to Rock Island, Illinois. An Army chaplain school would go to South Carolina. Over the next few years, 400 military and 2,100 civilian jobs would leave this part of New Jersey.
From talking to some of the younger soldiers, they would love to stay here in New Jersey because it's a good assignment. Since I've been in Fort Monmouth for 2 years, it has been a great assignment for me. If I could stay here longer, I would stay here.
It's a very well-knit family here, and we do very important work. As was proven in Desert Storm with the night vision equipment and things that they used out there, they were researched and developed here at Fort Monmouth.
Whichever way the Fort Monmouth decision goes, there can be no appeal from it. The only way it can be overturned is if President Clinton decides to throw out the entire list of base closings from the commission and start from scratch. For the 9,500 people who work at Fort Monmouth, it isn't much of a choice, and it's an agonizing wait. Steve Dunlop, News 4, New Jersey.
And as we continue on News 4 at 6, thousands of tiny toads flood a Queens neighborhood, and residents are stepping very carefully. We'll take you there.
A Manhattan student waits to hear whether she'll be picked as the newest cover girl, and our model weatherman, Al Roker. Yes?
That's right. I'm going to be on this month's Field and Stream. Well, we've got at least some sunshine to talk about. We'll tell you how much longer that's going to last. Len?
Well, Al, coming up, the weather was great for the Mets this afternoon as the worst team in baseball tried to make it 1 in a row against Montreal. And when will Anthony Young win another game?
You just passed a BMW 540i, and you know your Lexus GS can outcorner it. And you wonder if they know. Then you think to yourself, which is worse to them? You knowing how much more they paid, or them knowing how little you paid? Ask your New York, New Jersey, Connecticut Lexus dealer about the Lexus GS custom tailored lease. He'll know.
This is our latest American Express card application display, and we're pretty excited about it. Excuse me, sir, would you like an application for the American Express card? The card with no interest charges.
As a matter of fact, I would.
Just be a second. Bear with me. In the meantime, look for this display and take one. I know this works. It's very cute. It's a little me with the application. You just got to go through the song. In the meantime, if you want an American Express card, look for this display and take one. You know, the great thing about this American Express card application display is you get involved with it. You all love the song, don't you? Believe me, when this thing opens, and it will open, it'll put a smile on your face. In the meantime, look for this display and take one.
As the Buick Classic draws to a close, your local Buick dealers are getting ready to sell the cars that were driven by the pros. Jim, what's the story there?
Most of these cars have less than 1,000 miles, Jill. They'll be loading them up this weekend. That should put them in the showrooms before next weekend.
Remember, these Buicks that were used in the Buick Classic have just a few miles, but the savings should still be significant. So now is a great time to get an extra special price on the excellent quality of a Buick.
Joey Buttafuoco's lawyer says no dice to an onstage appearance by Buttafuoco with Andrew Dice Clay. The papers say Joey's comedy debut with the Dice Man is a done deal, but his lawyer, Marvin Kornberg, says no way.
Joseph Buttafuoco is not going to appear with Andrew Dice Clay. Joseph Buttafuoco has not signed a contract with Andrew Dice Clay, and whoever released the report that he was going to appear doesn't know what he's talking about.
It was to happen at the Westbury Music Fair next month, and the Dice Man and his promoters say it could have been a giant.
Well, Joey's not really known as, you know, the world's greatest comic. I am. And because of that, I just thought that, you know, have him on the show, you know, it would just be like an extra added little thing. It would be like a real, you know, kick for the fans and stuff.
Touch, who knows? It could have been bigger than Rowan and Martin. Martin and Lewis, I don't know.
We may never know. Instead, Buttafuoco has little humor ahead as he faces statutory rape charges in the Amy Fisher case. Ironically, he was in court today as his lawyer asked the judge to sequester the jury because of all the pre-trial publicity.
A little similarity there. I've never noticed before. Things are hopping in one part of Far Rockaway in Queens, and nobody's happy about it. The toads have taken over. Tiny critters, but large enough to be very annoying. They've settled into a couple of homes, making for some rather jumpy homeowners. Kevin Rosen has more.
They came in the dark from the pond beyond the fence, invading this Far Rockaway neighborhood. These menacing dark green creatures, actually tiny harmless toads, first invaded the home of Rabbi Shmuel Judowitz and then spread down the street, forcing the Queasy to take refuge in their homes.
They were like all over the sidewalk and all over the lawn, and it was just unavoidable. You couldn't step around or do anything without running into them.
Today, most of the toads are confined to Rabbi Judowitz's backyard, but people tell me yesterday you could hardly even walk out here. In fact, some of the people who were out here said there were, well, a lot of them.
Trillions.
Trillions?
Yeah.
How many did you see?
Millions.
Millions? How many did you see?
Billions.
Which meant there would be casualties.
You just step on them.
You couldn't avoid them.
They walked into me.
Experts say they are fowler toads, and normally they don't spawn in heavily populated areas. As much havoc as the toads caused, some didn't think they were such a big deal.
I wasn't out here yesterday, no, but I heard about it this morning.
Well, people
and I couldn't believe that this is newsworthy, but apparently it is.
Well, it was big enough to get the local community board involved, which had this advice from experts for residents.
Other than maybe making a mess if you step on one or, you know, whatever, that it won't be a problem and that they should go away in the next week. And I'm here today, and you can see that a lot of them have dispersed as predicted.
Nobody has warts?
Not that I know of.
They left earlier than expected. Don't ever accuse a toad of being stupid. In Far Rockaway, Kevin Rosen, News 4, New York.
It was a whole new ball game out at Shea today, and warts and all, the Mets took the field.
I like, this is an updated newscast because we let viewers critique the newscast while it's on. I like that guy telling us it's not newsworthy.
He doesn't know newsworthy.
Well, the next 4 minutes, this is newsworthy. The Mets' tragic number, now only 64 for elimination. Any combination of Phillies wins or Mets losses totaling 64, it's over. Oh, like it's not over now. Play of the game, tied 2-2 in the 6th this afternoon with Montreal. Larry Walker deep to left field off Frank Tanana, gone. 4-2 Expos. There is your ball game. However, the Mets rallied. 9th inning, Jeff McKnight punches it through, base hit. Kevin Baez scores. Mets cut it to 4-3. Now, 2 on, 2 out. John Wetland pitching to Eddie Murray. Forget it. Pops it up to end the ball game. Expos win at 4-3. Dallas Green, since he's taken over as Mets manager, 8-24. And Anthony Young can have the record all to himself when he faces Florida next week. For now, he's tied with a pitcher from 1911. 23 straight losses. Sal Marciano reports on last night's record tire.
Anthony Young wasn't alone as he reluctantly joined Cliff Curtis of the 1911 Braves for consecutive defeats by a pitcher. There were 4 Mets errors, the Expos scoring 3 unearned runs. Twice the Mets squandered bases-loaded opportunities. And when Bobby Bonilla struck out looking, manager Dallas Green huffed and puffed and was ejected from the game. Young left after 6 innings on the short end again. AY is 0-9.
Well, you saw the game today. Am I that bad?
To hold up under this he's been a pro about it, and he's done it very well. You know, it's got to be very wearing on it. It's got to be a very difficult thing for him to go through.
Late in June, the Mets lose for the 48th time in 69 games. Sadly, Anthony Young has plenty of time and plenty of opportunities to break the record no one wants. Sal Marciano, News 4 New York.
And Dallas Green told Sal that he will keep Anthony Young in the rotation at least through the All-Star break. So next week in Florida, he gets a chance to go for 24 consecutive losses. And last night, the Yankees blowing a game in Toronto, and they also blew a chance to pick up a game on the first-place Tigers. Yankees built up a 4-0 lead here in the 3rd off Jack Morris. Danny Tartabull home run. Tartabull also had an RBI double. Bottom of the 8th, Pat Borders. Down the line, Wade Boggs was not hugging the foul line. John Olerud has hit safely in 26 games. He scored to tie it. Tony Fernandez, the former Met, wins the game. 5-4 Toronto. The Yankees blowing that 4-0 lead to the Blue Jays, and a Yankee bullpen failure last night in Toronto. Tonight, it's Jimmy Key pitching against his old team in Skydome. Toronto 1 game back of Detroit. The Yankees are 3. Elsewhere in baseball this afternoon, in Philadelphia, John Kruk, the fly ball opposite way to left field at the vet for the Phillies. Deion Sanders out there for the Braves. Deion plays that into a run-scoring ground rule double. The Phillies win the game. They have now won 50. And afterwards, they extended the contracts of their manager and their general manager, unlike here in New York. San Francisco leads San Diego as they play the bottom of the 7th inning. Elsewhere this afternoon, Colorado and the Reds, the Rockies lead at 4-2. And Chicago has swept away the Texas Rangers in their series 3 in a row. At Wimbledon, the favorites continue to win their matches. Andre Agassi, near court, against João Cunha Silva of Portugal. Agassi nails him with the ball, then comes over, apologizes to him. Agassi winning his match in 4 sets. And then it was Boris Becker in the near court against Alexander Volkov of Russia. Becker up to his old tricks on the Wimbledon grass. The flying get puts it in play. Becker winning his match in straight sets. Riddick Bowe's promoter, Rock Newman, is suing another boxing promoter, Dan Duva, for $25 million for improper behavior. Duva said what, only $25 million? Improper behavior in boxing. That's an oxymoron. Finally, the name does sound familiar, doesn't it?
Look at this. I'm blow this far out. No way. You're so wrong. You know that? It's terrible. You know that? You want to please all the fans? Is that it?
McEnroe at Wimbledon. That's John's little brother, Patrick, and he was fined $1,000 today. Press Sports.
Still worried about Anthony Young. Now, is he that bad? Or, I mean, as some of his teammates said, you know, they're not hitting. You know? What do you think?
Well, last night they weren't fielding either. Anthony Young does have 15 saves during this stretch as a relief pitcher. So a lot of this was compiled last season when he was coming out of the bullpen. So, no, Anthony Young is not that bad a pitcher. His team is certainly, he has the joy and fun of pitching for the worst team in baseball, and these things happen.
Okay, right, thanks, Len.
Thanks.
Well, will our perfect weather stick around for the weekend? We'll take a look ahead with Al's long-range forecast next.
And a Manhattan student is dreaming of becoming a top model. Is it just a dream? We'll tell you if Lady Luck struck in just a minute.
Mary Brody won't feel the tiny lump in her breast for another 2 years. But it'll be discovered tomorrow after her first mammogram, thanks in part to an X-ray film created by DuPont. And for Mary Brody, early detection means a 2-year head start on the rest of her life. At DuPont, we make the things that make a difference. Better things for better living.
It's Jeep Day's final days. That's right, the incredible opportunity to save on the Jeep vehicle you've been waiting for is almost over. Come in now to choose from hundreds of award-winning Jeep Grand Cherokees and get up to $1,100 in savings. Enjoy cash back on classic Cherokee Sport, or get legendary Wrangler as low as this. So hurry in for Jeep Day's final days at your Jeep and Eagle dealer today, because days like these won't be here for long. Now financing available with no payments until October.
Sale, save up to $2,600 on Dodge Caravan, including a gold package at no extra charge. Gold wheels, gold striping, 15-inch tires, and more. And make no monthly payments till October. Save up to $2,600 because we love to save. Sale ends soon.
America's Paint Store. From color matching to custom paints. America's Paint Store. More choices than any other store. America's Paint Store. Home Depot. Nobody beats our prices, guaranteed, on Behr Plus 10 solid color stains. Behr offers superior durability and protection against water and sun damage, and stops warping and checking. Behr Plus 10. America's Paint Store, with paint experts you can trust. Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
And we have this word just in. More now on the Fort Monmouth vote. Those jobs will stay in New Jersey under this afternoon's vote by the Base Closing Commission. The group involved would move from Tinton Falls to the main base at Fort Monmouth and not go to Illinois, so that is very good news for the folks in and around Fort Monmouth, and President Clinton has until July 15th to accept or reject this offer.
Oh, it's time for weather with Al Roker. We had the best of all worlds today. Great sun.
Yes.
Wind.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
That's it? It wasn't nice. And low humidity. Low humidity.
That's right.
Yeah, the big three. Let's take a look, show you what's going on out there now. A gorgeous day, and it's going to finish off as a gorgeous evening. Taking a look at the East River and both bridges, Manhattan and the Brooklyn Bridge, looking very nice indeed. And 81 degrees, sunny skies right now at Central Park. Rest of the Central Park readings coming in currently with winds that are out of the northwest, a little on the breezy side, 13 miles per hour. Relative humidity, 22%. Barometer on the rise, 30.00. Our high for the day, 83. Overnight low, 61. It's going to dip below that by late tonight. Sunrise tomorrow morning, 5:26. Sunset at 8:31. Satellite view, 22,000 miles in space. Hopefully, it's not getting in the way of the space shuttle. You can see that we've got some clouds in the midsection of the country, some heavy thunderstorms there, but for us, nice big area of high pressure dominating. As that high slides down, winds will become light and variable tonight, so it's going to cool down, but there is a change in our weather coming, the humid stuff coming back. Take a look. The jet stream for tomorrow looks like this. It dips way up to the north in Canada and then out into the Atlantic, so we are still in the cool air, but by By the time we get to the weekend, it's going to be a little bit more of a zonal flow, and so that's going to allow more heat and humidity to work its way in here. So our forecast looks like this. Starts off awfully nice. In fact, a little on the cool side for tonight. Overnight lows, upper 40s to low 50s in the inland suburbs. Here in town, it'll be in the low 60s. Out along the coastal shorelines, temperatures will be in the low to mid upper 50s. Then for tomorrow morning, you can expect plenty of sunshine, mid 50s to mid 60s, although in some of the normally cooler spots, it'll probably be only in the low 50s. And then during the day tomorrow, again, more sunshine. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s. Shoreline temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Shorecast for you, variably cloudy. Variable winds, I should say, 8 to 15 knots. Waves 2 to 4 feet at the ocean, 1 to 3 feet in the Sound. Water temperature 60 to 65 degrees. And the 5 days ahead for you, as we said, tomorrow, sunshine, low humidity 85. Friday, fair and 88. Humidity creeps up on Saturday. Chance of afternoon thunderstorms at 90. Sunday, fair and 85. Monday, fair skies and a temperature of 80 degrees. So it looks like we've got some nice weather for at least the next 24 hours.
Okay, great. Thank you. Sue Simmons is in our newsroom with a look at some of the stories we're working on for News 4 at 11. Sue?
Carol, thank you. A criminal probe into an insurance company that serves 8 million New Yorkers. Empire, Blue Shield, Blue Cross, or the other way around. In just a few minutes, board members from the company are scheduled to answer questions about recent troubles that could cost consumers millions. Find out what they say and how it affects you and your neighbors tonight at 11. Now, Tom Brokaw with a look at what's ahead on NBC Nightly News. Tom?
I will indeed, Sue. Tonight on NBC Nightly News, we'll have the very latest for you from the Four Corners area of the Southwest, where that mysterious virus apparently has claimed another victim. We'll be talking in some detail about that with NBC's Bob Bazell and with the state epidemiologist from New Mexico on America Close Up tonight. How to keep kids out of trouble before they get into trouble. All of that and more when we come back here at 6:30 tonight. Matt, Carol.
Tom, thanks. Finally tonight, imagine the pressure of competing in a national modeling contest when you're only 16 years old. High school student from the East Side knows the feeling, and now she knows the rewards. Kelly Mack has the story.
Under the huge rollers and glamorous makeup is a 16-year-old girl with a good head on her shoulders. Diana Gettinger is one of 10 finalists chosen from over 20,000 contestants nationwide, competing in CoverGirl and YM Magazine's annual high school model search. The girl spent the morning primping for the final competition later in the day. Diana will be a senior next fall at Trinity High School on Manhattan's Upper West Side, where she is captain of the junior varsity lacrosse team, photo editor of the yearbook, and a straight-A student.
Hi. Well, she's a typical New Yorker. She's bright, she's outgoing, she's friendly, she's full of life. She's really a terrific girl.
Dressed, lipsticked, and powdered to perfection, the girls posed for photos with supermodel Nikki Taylor, a teenager herself and a role model for many of these girls.
They think they can do it, go for it, and then do your job and then get out and don't take it too seriously.
And then in front of a crowd of model agents and magazine editors, the winner was announced.
Diana Gettinger.
It's a dream come true for this young New Yorker, but Diana Gettinger has dreams beyond modeling.
The money goes straight to college, and I mean, my parents wouldn't have it any other way, and I wouldn't really have it any other way either. I mean, this is such a great experience and so much fun, and I mean, I don't know where it will take me, but, you know, it could also just drop me.
May all your dreams come true. Kelly Mack, News 4, New York.
And to help her dreams come true, Gettinger won $10,000. She's going to be on the cover of the magazine, and she will appear in an upcoming CoverGirl commercial.
And you know something about